Right. Hey, it's been a minute. How you doing? That's cool. Me too. I'm also, however you said you were. K-pop songs that would break a 1700s child. I still don't have a pointer. The pointer is my finger. This is my digital footprint. I was at a K-pop event and someone was like, oh my God, I just saw you saying you could twerk to anything and then you were twerking to G by Girls' Generation. This is my digital footprint. I've created this, so we're just gonna accept it. Starting off with ring ding dong. I feel like this would be called the ring ding disease. There's like a famous story of people randomly just like starting to dance and not being able to stop until they literally pass out. Like that was a actual thing that happened, and I feel like this song would be like the test, you know, like back in the day in like the 1400s, where like if a girl knew that 1 + 1 = 2, they would say she was a witch and kill her. So that would be the test. So you would have to be like, I don't know, is it 10? This would be the test. They would play this song as a test, and if you started dancing or humming to it, they would burn you at the stake to get the ring ding demon inside of you out. So I also think if you just play this in general to a 1700s child, their head would explode immediately. Like no one would get it, no one would like it, no one would understand. And that's okay. It's not for them to get. They're all dead. Allegedly. Next, we have two baddies. Look at my beautiful, beautiful picture of this non-binary lesbian. Shout out Yuto for real. Heads would explode on account of the amount of sounds going on and because cars weren't invented until 1865. They don't know what a car horn is. Car, what is that? You know what I mean? You're just saying a made-up word and then you're saying horn. Did horns existed like that sound exist in the 1700s? I don't know. Whatever, if it did or didn't, they would call demonic. Count on humans too. If they don't understand something, they label it as demonic. People would absolutely start crying. I feel like ring ding dong would play and they'd start screaming. Two baddies would play and they would start like hysterically crying. Every religious figure in town would be called to dunk people in holy water because of this. I feel like they would be like, this is a demonic song, this is a demonic presence, and I need to literally submerge you. I need you to do a Michael Phelps deep dive, shout out ateez, into the holy water to be rid of this. This is also, I'm talking about witches a lot, I don't know why, shout out witches. This is also the song girls would get caught dancing to in the forest and they would be put on trial for being witches. I don't know why I said we. I am not a witch. I mean, I also don't know. Maybe I am. They would be doing their like witch things, doing spells, having fun, being fun and free women, sexy, free, and single. And this is their theme song. This is the song that would be playing. This would also be a test song. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't automatically start crying, they would deem you a witch and they would burn you at the stake. Yuta is a religious figure. That's the end of the sentence. So in this case, Yuta would also be a religious figure. They would see, like they would go to sleep and they would see Yuta coming to them in a dream, being like, two baddies, one Porsche. Look at him, man. Also, the lore behind that shirt is hilarious. Next, cat and dog. I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. Uncontrollable fits of barking and meowing coming from the town square. And this would... By the way, I made this like such a long time ago and I haven't looked at this in months. So I'm like reading this and being like, what the fuck did I write? Causes the first protest of workers' rights in history. The butterfly effect. Yeah, I'm not going to explain that. I just feel like it makes sense. I feel like this is playing at the protest as people are marching. Matz. Back to devils. People would call it devil music. You know what? And maybe it's because I binge watched basically an entire season of The Vampire Diaries in like 3 days. But they are giving vampires. They are giving vampire cult. Like absolutely. So it's like these songs exist now, and if you played them in the 1700s, people would like go insane. They are vampires that have existed since, let's put a date on it, the 1400s, and they are going around recruiting people. They are part of a cult. It is obviously called the Matz cult. Arguably, K-pop and K-pop groups are cults, so who knows? The Matz cult of 1725. Seonghwa recruits, absolutely, Hongjoong is the leader. Seonghwa would flirt with the men and the women and get them in, and then Hongjoong would like tell them what to do. Also, this is the song queer people would use to secretly communicate that they're queer. Yeah! The instrumental would make heads explode. So we have people screaming as soon as they hear a song, people crying as soon as they hear a song, and then just heads exploding. The scene from Kingsman, where heads were just like absolutely like that. The War of Hormone, 1700. Like, this is a war that happened in 1700. Play this and all the teenagers go into a crash out, like transfoaming at the mouth, literally acting like rabid dogs. You would have to put them down and shoot them. Just said that about children, but also I'm not actually talking about real children. So last but not least, Bouncy. I feel like this makes so much sense, but I wouldn't say this would scare 1700s children. I would say this would empower them to have a revolution. Once again, the revolution of Bouncy circa 1792. We're putting dates on these. And I would say too, maybe Seonghwa and Hongjoong are the same vampire cult leaders. What am I saying? What am I saying right now? What is the sentence that just came out of my mouth? Okay. Push through. Just don't listen to anything I'm saying. If I listen to stuff I'm saying, whatever. Hongjoong and Seonghwa are the same vampire cult leaders from 17. And they would end up starting this revolution. What am I saying right now? People would automatically go feral. And Bouncy, even now, first listen, gave people a visceral reaction. And still, in general, Bouncy gives you a very visceral physical reaction. The beginning, you want to jump up, you want to like punch something, you want to fight a bear, you want to kick something. It's like violence. So like, if that is still happening now, of course it's going to happen in the 1700s, and would start something equivalent to the church scene in Kingsman. This is the second Kingsman reference. I love Kingsman. I cannot play that clip besides copyright. It is so violent. Basically, there is a chip in people's brains, and the chip gets activated, and they literally just start beating the shit out of each other. So yeah, that is my PowerPoint presentation. Thank you, teacher. This counts for 10% of my final grade.